The moon's feeble light cast eerie shadows across the narrow streets of Blackwood Hills, a town cloaked in darkness and whispers of the supernatural. Jack Thompson, a determined young man with dreams held captive by financial constraints, embarked on his nightly journey as a pizza delivery boy. The chilly night air prickled his skin as he weaved through the labyrinthine lanes, guided only by flickering streetlights. His worn-out car halted before a looming Victorian mansion, Emily's house. Its aged facade seemed to harbor secrets of the past. Heart pounding, Jack approached the door, his hand trembling as he rapped against the weathered wood. Each second passing heightened the sense of foreboding, signaling the beginning of a nightmarish descent into the unknown. The door creaked open, revealing Emily's ghostly presence. Her pallid complexion and hollow eyes sent shivers down Jack's spine, but he pushed aside his unease, attributing it to the eerie reputation of Blackwood Hills. He handed over the pizza, forcing a polite smile as Emily's skeletal fingers wrapped around the box. An unspoken tension hung in the air, thickening with each passing moment. "Wait at the door for a tip," she whispered, her voice a haunting murmur. Jack obliged, anxiety knotting his stomach. Time stretched on, echoing in the silence, until the door swung open once more. Jack's heart sank as he laid eyes upon the monstrous transformation that awaited him within Emily's home. Emily's grotesque form lunged toward Jack, her movements a macabre dance of decay. Reflexes honed by survival instincts kicked in, propelling Jack to evade her outstretched arms. Panic surged through his veins as he darted deeper into the dimly lit house, his footsteps muffled by the creaking floorboards. The scent of decay lingered, mingling with the acrid taste of fear in his mouth. Every shadow seemed to harbor lurking horrors, amplifying the urgency of his escape. Up the winding staircase he raced, his heart pounding like a war drum. Each step felt heavier, as if the house itself conspired to drag him down into its wicked depths. The relentless pursuit of the zombie Emily pushed Jack to the brink of his physical and mental limits, amplifying his desperation for survival. Jack's breath came in ragged gasps as he reached the top floor, his entire body trembling with exhaustion and fear. The silence of the desolate hallway was shattered by the approaching shuffle of Emily's undead footsteps. Shadows danced menacingly on the peeling wallpaper, amplifying Jack's terror. With every ounce of strength he had left, he released a guttural scream for help, a primal cry that echoed through the desolate house. Each desperate plea reverberated off the dilapidated walls, carrying his sheer desperation into the night. Time seemed to stretch impossibly thin as the sound of footsteps, thundering like a heartbeat, heralded the arrival of a potential savior. Adrenaline surged through Jack's veins, fueling his determination to survive against all odds. As Jack's desperate cries for help filled the air, the zombie Emily's attention shifted toward the sound. Her grotesque figure turned, stumbling towards the source of the commotion. With a surge of adrenaline, Jack seized the opportunity and darted down the stairs, his pounding footsteps echoing through the house. Fear propelled him forward, each step a desperate bid for survival. The sound of Emily's ragged breaths and agonized moans grew distant as he burst through the front door, gasping for precious breaths of night air. Sweat drenched his brow, and the weight of terror slowly lifted from his shoulders. In that fleeting moment, Jack felt the fragile touch of freedom, a reminder of the fragile line separating life from death. Trembling and breathless, Jack sat alone in his car, the faint glow of the streetlights casting eerie shadows across his face. He couldn't shake off the bone-chilling encounter he had just survived. The memory of Emily's grotesque transformation replayed in his mind, haunting him with each passing second. Seeking solace, He reached for the untouched pizza box beside him, his hunger gnawing at his insides. Unbeknownst to Jack, a sinister secret lay hidden within that innocent-looking pizza. Bite after bite, he consumed the tainted slices, unwittingly inviting the dormant virus into his own body. The flavors mingled with a bitter aftertaste, hinting at the horror to come. Little did he know, the darkness that had enveloped Emily's house now coursed through his veins, sealing his fate in a chilling twist of fate. Jack arrived home, a sense of unease already gnawing at his core. The familiar sights and sounds of his family's house failed to provide the comfort they once did. Something was off, a foreboding presence lingering in the air. As he stepped through the threshold, an insatiable hunger clawed at his insides, consuming his thoughts and senses. His body trembled, no longer under his control. The virus within him had taken hold, distorting his once familiar features into a monstrous visage. His family, unaware of the impending horror, greeted him with open arms. In a nightmarish frenzy, Jack succumbed to his newfound primal urges, lurching towards his loved ones, driven by an insatiable desire for flesh. The screams that once filled the house were now replaced with agonized cries, as Jack became the monster he had fought so hard to escape. The blood-curdling scene of Jack's savage attack on his own family jolted the town of Blackwood Hills from its slumber. Panic spread like wildfire as the police were summoned to investigate the unthinkable. The once quiet streets teemed with flashing lights and the wails of sirens. The authorities delved deep into the origin of the infected pizzas, determined to uncover the truth. Through painstaking interviews and meticulous research, they traced the tainted deliveries back to the unsuspecting pizza maker. Shock and disbelief rippled through the community as news of the pizza maker's unwitting involvement in the outbreak came to light. The town demanded answers, seeking solace in the pursuit of justice. With the arrest of the pizza maker, a glimmer of hope emerged, but the scars of the zombie nightmare would forever haunt Blackwood Hills. As the police confronted the pizza maker, a mixture of shock, guilt, and confusion clouded their expression. The pizza maker, a middle-aged man with a weary gaze, listened in disbelief as the truth unfolded before him. It was revealed that the ingredients he had unknowingly obtained were contaminated, infecting the pizzas with the insidious zombie virus. Overwhelmed by remorse, he cooperated fully with the authorities, revealing every detail of his unwitting involvement. Word of his arrest spread throughout Blackwood Hills, evoking a bittersweet mix of relief and lingering unease among its residents. The town grappled with the aftermath of the outbreak, mourning the loss of innocent lives and grappling with the shattered trust in their once beloved local pizzeria. The scars of that horrific night would forever serve as a haunting reminder of the fragility of life and the hidden dangers that lurk beneath the surface. The wind whispered through the desolate streets, carrying with it an eerie sense of foreboding. The town, nestled deep in the heart of the mountains, bore the scars of its haunted past. Legends whispered of supernatural occurrences, of spirits that wandered the mist-covered roads, and a dilapidated mansion that stood as a macabre testament to the town's dark history. It was in this chilling backdrop that we meet Jake Thompson, a young college student whose footsteps echoed through the empty streets. Jake's weary eyes betrayed a deep longing for something more, for a way to escape the clutches of this haunting town and pursue a brighter future. Yet, amidst the rumors and ghostly tales, his skepticism held firm, keeping him grounded in a world of rationality. Little did Jake know that soon his beliefs would be shattered, and he would be thrust into a horrifying ordeal that would test his very sanity. Jake Thompson stood in the dimly lit pizza parlor, his eyes fixed on the order slip in his hand. It was a delivery to the old haunted location nestled deep in the mountains. A shiver ran down his spine as he imagined the desolate surroundings, filled with mist and secrets. The temptation of extra money whispered to him, urging him to accept the order, but rationality warned of the dangers that lurked within. Torn between curiosity and caution, Jake's mind raced. In the end, his desire for financial stability won, and with a determined nod, he decided to embark on the perilous journey into the unknown. Jake arrives at the address and encounters the first old man who claims to have ordered the pizza. Jake's heart pounded in his chest as he stood face to face with the first old man. The flickering streetlight cast eerie shadows across the man's weathered face, emphasizing the lines etched deep into his skin. His eyes, clouded with age, bore into Jake's soul, sending a shiver down his spine. The old man's thin, trembling hands reached out, his crooked fingers beckoning Jake closer. Every instinct screamed at him to run, but an inexplicable curiosity held him captive. With a quivering voice, the old man whispered, "You've arrived, young one. The pizza, it is our gateway." Jake's world spun with a mix of fear and intrigue, his journey into the unknown just beginning. As Jake prepared to leave the haunted location, a chilling breeze cut through the air, causing him to shiver involuntarily. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadows, a second old man, even more decrepit than the first. The wrinkles etched deeply into his face seemed to tell tales of forgotten sorrows. His cloudy eyes held a sinister glimmer as he locked them onto Jake's trembling form. With a voice that carried a hint of malevolence, the second old man declared himself as the rightful recipient of the pizza. Confusion gripped Jake, his mind spinning with questions. Who was telling the truth? And what secrets lay hidden within these elderly specters? As the moon hung high in the night sky, casting an eerie glow on the desolate streets, Jake's heart pounded within his chest. More figures emerged from the shadows, their hunched forms and gnarled faces leering at him. The laughter that filled the air sent chills down his spine, each cackle echoing with malevolence. Their eyes, sunken and devoid of life, fixated on him like vultures eyeing their prey. Jake's breath quickened as he realized the truth. These old men were not ordinary beings, but the cursed undead, the old ones. A wave of terror crashed over him, gripping his soul in icy tendrils. The haunting laughter continued, each ghoulish chuckle punctuating their intention to feast upon his flesh. The old men surrounding him transformed before his disbelieving eyes, their decaying flesh and hollowed eyes revealing their true form. The old ones, zombies cursed to haunt the town. Their wicked grins sent chills down Jake's spine, their laughter echoing in the night. Dread tightened its grip around him as they confessed their intention. Jake was their desired meal, not the pizza. Fear engulfed him, his mind racing for an escape route, while the scent of decay permeated the air, reminding him of his impending doom. The ghastly laughter of the old ones echoed in his ears, a chilling reminder of the terror that pursued him. Their decaying forms moved with surprising agility, their gnarled fingers reaching out, hungry for his flesh. Jake's heart pounded in his ears, each breath burning his lungs. The flickering streetlights cast eerie shadows, playing tricks on his frantic mind. Every turn he took, they were there, their glowing eyes fixed on him. He could almost feel their rancid breath on his neck, driving him further into the depths of panic. Fear clung to Jake's trembling fingers as he dialed the numbers, his voice choked with desperation. Each ring felt like an eternity as he prayed for salvation. His heart pounded in his chest, drowning out the mocking laughter of the old ones closing in. At last, a voice crackled through the receiver, a lifeline in the abyss of terror. He spilled his words in a frantic rush, the urgency dripping from his trembling lips. The dispatcher promised assistance, but time was a merciless enemy. Jake's hope flickered like a dying flame, teetering on the edge of oblivion as he clung to the fading promise of rescue. Jake's heart pounded in his chest as the police cars screeched to a halt, their flashing lights casting an eerie glow on the scene. Relief washed over him, believing that help had finally arrived. But as the officers stepped out of their vehicles, a sinking feeling gripped his gut. One of them, Officer Roberts, wore a sinister smile that sent shivers down Jake's spine. The truth unfolded before him: a betrayal. With a chilling laugh, Officer Roberts revealed himself as an ally of the old ones. Panic fueled Jake's fight for survival as he confronted not only the zombies, but also the corrupt police officer in a deadly showdown. He managed to lock himself in room, and where he found a long rope. He escaped secretly from the backside of an abandoned house using the rope and started running towards the car. With a resolute determination, Jake managed to drive away from the abandoned house in few minutes into the cool night air. The moon hangs low in the sky, casting an ethereal glow on the desolate streets. Jack had barely saved his from the cursed mansion, leaving behind the remnants of the old ones and the dark secrets they held.